What's up, everyone? Shoebooty Sports coming at you Tuesday night, per the almost always. I'm Babyface Grandpa on this screen. That's Bradley, Super Golf Man Brown on the other. Say what's up, Brad.
What's happening, babyface?
Yeah, just that. The beer was getting a little much, and I wasn't in the best of mood when I cut it. So, best of moods
Like
when I cut it.
match? No, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, just screw it. I'm tired of dealing with this. And so I just, just shaved everything. I was like, it'll grow back. Everything from the neck up, that is. Anyway, before we get going, let's give a quick shout out to our sponsor. Shoebooty Sports is presented by Rhino Races. Rhino Races is a virtual race series that offers 5 different races: a 5K, 10K, half marathon, a marathon, and the one of a kind Rhino Ultra. You can sign up for one or all 5 of their races at rhinoraces.com. Run your race at your convenience, track it with your fitness app of choice. Screenshot your results as proof of completion. Submit that screenshot to rhinoraces.com under the submit results section. Once your results are verified by Rhino Races staff, your reward will be shipped to you by mail. Also, check out their gear section while you're there for t-shirts, wristbands, decals, and more. That's rhinoraces.com. Rhino Races is the premier virtual running series. You can find us, Shoot Booty Sports, on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and follow us on X at Shoot Booty Sports. There are a few things to talk about. What do we want to start with? Since we, just solo this thing now.
Yeah.
I'll leave it up to
Huh?
you.
We can start with some college football news. The big headline for today. So Arch Manning is he's gonna stay put for another year. So he's gonna
That's
play
the
at
big.
Texas.
That's the big news.
Uh,
I was gonna say, what's the big news? I don't even know what it is.
yeah. Seems to be the big news for a slow day in college updates. So but yeah,
Good.
he's decided to not enter in the NFL draft. Shocker to probably no one. But yeah, he's gonna play another year at Texas. So yeah, if everybody would have believed the hype and if he would have lived up to the hype, the preseason hype that is, yes, he would be going into the NFL draft. But he was far from it this season, or to begin the season. The last 7 games, he's kind of polished it up, but still nowhere near the amount of hype that he was getting before the season. So yeah, luckily Razorbacks will get to face off against team next year.
I would say, I mean, good for him. I don't know that he would have gone pro. I mean, his uncles didn't. They stayed till they were through their senior year. That's
True.
not to say he'd do the same thing, but um, yeah, you're absolutely right. He was nothing what people thought they would be. I didn't know what was going to happen. I was like, I don't know if the guy can play. I've only seen him come in on basically run plays. I knew he was the more athletic of any Manning quarterback. Well, we've seen since Archie, but yeah, I didn't know if the guy could throw or if he could play, and didn't look like he could early on. It's like this guy. I don't know if this guy is a SEC quarterback, or he didn't look like a D1 quarterback
No.
the first couple of games. I mean, he had a couple of pretty good throws, but man, he lacked consistency. But he did. He and Texas both got better as the season progressed, and I, I'm sure he'll only get better in another year under Sark, assuming he stays at Texas. So good. That's a good call. I mean, it's the right decision. He would have gotten drafted had he gone
Oh yeah,
pro, but
somebody
not
would have rolled the dice.
not high. Wouldn't have been in the first couple of rounds. I don't think.
But would he have beaten Shador's call?
Probably,
Yeah,
probably so.
probably. Yeah, yeah,
That's hard too. I mean, Shador barely beat Tom Brady.
yeah.
In picking,
Shador, yeah, barely got a call on draft day. So
yeah. So yeah, I think he would have beaten that. So there's enough there to know that okay, we can work with this and we can develop this.
yep.
Absolutely. And yeah, his stock will only rise after another year at Texas. I mean, they've had a good year this year. the top team in the country. I didn't think they were to begin with. I was like, this isn't the number one team in the country.
Yeah.
But
It
um,
feels like so long ago, Texas being preseason number one.
it kind of was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of was at this point.
I mean, that was way back when we thought the Razorbacks would win 5 games, but boy, were we wrong.
Yeah, we whiffed on that hard.
Yeah.
Um,
But
I,
any consolation to that, they say we were the best 2-win team ever.
they say that. I still think they would have found ways to lose
Oh,
against
yeah.
other 2-10, 2 and whatever teams, 2-10.
So,
Yeah, that's news I did not know about. What other news is went on today or recently, other than everything else that I do know about, which I don't think you're privy to? That it? That the
uh,
headline?
yeah, I guess I'm not privy to the big news you got coming on. I don't know.
I don't have any big news coming.
Oh.
You're smirking. Um, I know what you're alluding to. We can talk about it. Why not? This can be my therapy
No, I
session.
wasn't even leading into that. I thought we were going to close with that, but
Let's just get it out of the way. So
rip
yeah,
it off.
we the fantasy football playoffs are underway, and you didn't get into the winners bracket. I did. I won my first round game handily, and yeah, had a. I was in the semifinals against our buddy Luke, and I lost by half a point. I got sent home by half a point, and the it's not that I lost necessarily that bothers me. I don't mind lose. I don't like to lose, but I don't mind it. But this one stung, especially because everything was essentially in my control. I say that fantasy football, you don't really have control over what happens. I mean, it's kind of silly to get real upset about what happens because you're not out there doing it. Problem with that is, my quarterback all season has been Jared Goff. Joe Burrow became available at some point, and I thought, well, let's just go ahead and pick him up so that I did it because others so that other teams couldn't get him and hurt me later on. That was why I did it. And I didn't even know if he would play. But Burrow came back last week at Buffalo in a snow game and put up about 20 something points. It was more than Goff. It wasn't much more than Goff, but it was more than Jared Goff. Here's the thing with the Lions. Dan Campbell and the Lions love to run the football. They really like to run the football. They like to use primarily Jahmyr Gibbs now, but it was a two-headed monster for a little bit with David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. Gibbs clearly became the guy, and they want to utilize Gibbs in the red zone. They just do. And I knew that because Jared Goff has had so many games this year where he might have thrown for 290 yards, but he'd have either zero touchdowns or one touchdown. And that's good for anywhere between, 17 and 20 points usually.
Good,
But
consistent floor. Yep.
yeah, but Burrow last weekend threw four touchdowns. And so I was thinking, I don't know, I might get something along those lines again this week. Burrow had one of his worst games as a pro. It was just terrible. Had 10 whole points. And in the Lions Rams game, which was,
And he actually scored. He actually got you 10 points.
he actually got 10 points.
Oh,
But and of course, Luke has Jahmyr Gibbs. So I didn't want
yep.
Gibbs to do anything. The problem with that is, okay, well, here's the thing. Since Gibbs hurt so many teams, I said Packers, the Rams made it a point to not let Jahmyr Gibbs beat them. Made it a point. They were going to stop the run game. That's great for me because it stopped Jahmyr Gibbs from scoring a lot of points on me. That opened up the passing game for Goff and the Lions. And this all happened before my eyes. And I could see it early that Goff's going to have a big game. And he did. He ended with 30 fantasy points, 300 plus yards, 3 touchdowns. Uh, they lost, but Goff had statistically a very good game. So Goff had 30 points, Burrow had 10. You do the math. That's a 20-point difference. I lost a chance to play for the championship by half a point. Had I just stuck with the guy I had in there all season long, I would be in the championship game this week. That's
Do
not
you
what I
even want to
did.
know the prize? Do you even want to know the prize money you missed out on?
Yeah, why not? I mean, let's just rip the band-aid off here.
Okay. Well, last year, whenever my team uh shit the bed in the championship game and Marcus Mariota had a career game, all to beat me. I walked away with like $300. First place walks away with I think close to 600.
Nice. Does third place even get anything? Because I really don't even care.
Yeah, they get like 100 or 150
Okay, so you kind of get your money back and then some.
plus some. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess I'll try to. I've actually
There's
put
something to
in.
fight for, yeah.
I've
Don't be like
actually.
me. Yeah. My first season, I did the same thing and thought that there was no prize money for third place, so I didn't even set a lineup and missed out on money. So don't be like me.
Well, see, I already put in moves. Well, you saw what I did today. I was
Yeah.
so pissed off at Joe Burrow.
6:01 a.m.
I dropped Joe Burrow. Just dropped him. Just cut him
Yeah.
from my team.
Yeah. I laughed about that for a good 2.5 hours before I sent you a text.
I was so freaking mad, dude. I was like I lost with grace. I congratulated Luke and everything and acknowledged this is completely my fault why I lost.
Yes.
That doesn't mean it didn't freaking hurt like a son of a bitch. God, it did. It took me unusually long to start to feel normal. I was like, this stings bad. And I'm a bad loser anyway.
That's why I didn't say
But
anything to you last night.
yeah, I'm a bad loser anyway. I would have probably I would have responded. Like I would have put on a face in the response, but it would have stung. But yeah, it took some serious processing on my end to get over to really get over that, or at least kind of put it past me. It still sucks, but it's like, well, there's always next year, I guess. There's something else around the corner. Um, but yeah, I dropped Burrow and I put in claims today. Really, because I don't even care. Really, I don't care if I win this week. I just don't. My competitive spirit got sucked out of me. Like I'm just dead man walking right now. But I put in claims just to be that guy that takes away from maybe what Scott and Luke can use. I don't know if they'll use anybody. I'm trying to pick up, but I just had that in my mind. I'm going to play spoiler at least. Like I'm that petty.
Yeah.
So that was my only motivation was to play spoiler. And then I did not want Joe Burrow on my team. I'm so mad at Joe Burrow that I just want him off my team.
Yeah.
But that's what I get. I meant it when I said that last night. I said I didn't deserve to win. I didn't. Um, I got. I okay. Here's the thing. I didn't even have the game on. Okay, going into this game, I was down whatever I was, um, 15
14.
points or so, 14,
Yeah.
15 points. Yeah, I was down 14 points, and I just thought because DK Metcalf has had a couple of really good games, and even recently, but he's had some games where he was just terrible, didn't do anything,
Well,
and just how my luck goes, I was like, I'm not gonna win this, and I had stuff to do. I didn't even have the game on, didn't even turn it on. I was in here on my computer looking up if I got into a class or not when I had my phone where it is right now, just right by me. And then I saw, I think it was Scott that texted in the group chat, this just got interesting. So I knew who he was talking about. I was like, well,
Yep.
I was on the phone with my girlfriend. I was like, well, let's just see how it's going. I said, oh my God, I'm down half a point with with almost a quarter and a half left to play. There were 5 minutes left in the third quarter. And I was like, all he needs is one catch and I will win this game. Didn't get a catch the rest of the game. Let's break down that game, okay? So it was the perfect storm for me to lose because Miami couldn't do anything offensively or defensively. They couldn't
Nope.
stop a nosebleed on defense, and they couldn't do anything on offense until the very end of the game. And so it got to where Pittsburgh was just going to run the ball. They were just going to run the clock out. The problem with that is Miami was running out the clock even better than the Steelers were. They had no hurry up. They had nothing. They
They're
were
snapping the ball with like 1 second left on the play clock,
every
dude. Like,
time, every play,
yeah.
every play they were snapping it with 1 second left. And this started at the beginning of the fourth quarter. Troy Aikman, who really called kind of a masterful game commentating, was just bashing Miami, and rightfully so, the entire time. And Mike McDaniel, it was just saying, I want to hear his explanation for this because this is bizarre. And it was. There
Yep.
was no, because I don't know if they weren't mathematically out of the playoff hunt. So try.
They are now.
Yeah, they are now. But
Yeah, if there was a button that they could have hit and ended the game immediately in the third quarter, Miami would have just went ahead and pressed it because they did not care. They wanted
no,
to
they
get that
didn't.
game over with.
Yeah, they
Like,
did.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why you would do that, especially whenever you're in the hunt. There is a possibility of you actually making playoffs, and you just next year.
Yeah,
Here we go.
they were huddling it down 4 possessions, huddling up, snapping the ball at one every time with 1 second on the play clock every time. And so I'm just going crazy sitting there in my recliner saying, I'm not going to get another chance. I'm not going to get another chance for DK Metcalf to get one reception. And they couldn't stop him. They couldn't stop the run. And I don't remember what the very last play was, but then on the last possession, Metcalf wasn't even in the game. And I just was like, yeah, it's over. That there it went. Um, and that's not why I lost. I lost because I
Joe
sacked
Burrow.
off. Lad McConkey got a whopping 4 points. Willie Marks got hurt again this week and got a whopping 4.8 points.
You benched your namesake.
I did. I did. And I had that in my mind. I overthought it. I explained why I made the decision I did. And that's what my thinking was. But it was clearly the wrong move. And I mean, hindsight's always 2020, but even looking at it, let's say in the future, you don't bench the guy that got you there and your namesake.
Yeah. As Scott put it, you got to dance with the girl that brought you there.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, whenever I looked at your lineup on Saturday, I knew your reasoning behind doing it, but my initial thought was, oh, that's more of a gamble for sure.
Yeah. It was. I rolled the dice. I thought go. I just had go big or go home, and I thought about it. I stewed on it for like a day.
I mean,
Uh,
some people's method in the playoff is, hey, you float out the highest projected, no second guesses. Just do it. And usually it works.
that's
But
kind of the
usually you don't. Usually you're struggling with one running back over the next or a wide receiver in a flex spot or something. You're not really messing with that quarterback position though. 90% of the time.
and it's rare that I have two quarterbacks on my team. I usually only have them on my team in a bye week. The only reason I picked up Burrow was so that he wouldn't hurt me, so that other teams wouldn't use him to hurt me. I would have loved to have played against him this week. But yeah,
Yeah.
that scarred me so bad that I don't think I could ever have Joe Burrow on my fantasy football team again. I just don't think I ever could. I'll always have that in the back of my mind, especially if like Luke goes on to win, or well, not even that. If I
That,
outscore both of them,
no, yeah, don't even look at it. But yeah, if Luke goes on and win, I don't know. I might just give up fantasy football. Um, because for some reason, I mean, I've played fantasy football with Luke for 15 years now, and I'll be honest, he's usually ass, not the bottom, but he's usually just his best year is like fourth or third place. And then we get into this 14-man league, and he just somehow he's won two out of the last three seasons. He's gonna fall ass backwards into the championship game this year. I really don't hope he wins it for a third year or third time in 4 years, but I don't know. I don't know. I guess I'm pulling for Scott, but don't know.
I don't care. I don't care who wins. If I didn't win, then I don't care who wins. Um, I like that I care this much about it. I haven't cared this much about a fantasy football league in a while. It's interesting, and I like that part of it.
Yeah,
But this part sucks. Like this part
yeah. The difficulty
sucks.
in this league is at a different level, and yet it hurts that much worse whenever you miss out.
And to be that close, like that's the
Oh, I
thing.
know.
And see, and here's the thing, and this has bitten me twice. And if anything, it's a lesson learned. Like I said, I never have two quarterbacks on my roster, especially this late in the season, because why would you? Um, I ran into a similar issue at the beginning of the year when I fell into Seattle's defense, who ended up being the number one defense, in the league, at least fantasy wise. And the Packers looked really strong early. Looked like defensively with Michael Parsons looked really good early. So I was like, I'm going to go get them. And they had what I thought were favorable matchups in weeks 2 and 3. And I started them over Seattle, who was getting 25 and 30 points over those next 2 weeks. I lost to Luke that in one of those weeks by 5. And had I started Seattle over Green Bay, I would have won that game too. So I just said I'm going to get rid of this issue and just completely drop Green Bay because Seattle had shown to clearly be the better defense. I was like, I'm not even going to make this a tough decision. I'm just going to get rid of Green Bay's defense. And so it was easy the rest of the year. Just plug in Seattle. Um, but so I ran into the exact same problem at the quarterback position and paid for it. The same thing happened to me then that happened now this past week, just at different positions. So lesson lesson learned. I'm just not even gonna make it an
You,
option in the future.
you feel better? You feel better now? Get it all
No,
out there. Yeah, I
no.
didn't think so.
I feel
I'm still
like
mad.
absolute dog shit.
Yeah, I'm still mad that I lost last year in the championship. So I feel you.
No,
But
yeah.
speaking of Joe Burrow, is it time for him to get out of Cincinnati? He was Mr. Butthurt depressed after the game last week. This week he just rolls over and poops the bed. Um, do you think it's time for him to leave?
Yeah,
And
probably.
if so, where does it go? I know there's an obvious answer.
We'll get to your obvious one in a bit, but I'll start with this. Um, it worked out really well for Carson Palmer. He went to Arizona and had a really good tenure there at Arizona. And as he put it, that organization is just not going to spend the money necessary to put the pieces in place around you to be successful, not long term. Uh, Carson
Offensive line.
Palmer, yeah, Carson Palmer said that, um, and that proved to be true. He had a pretty good run in Arizona. Yeah, I yes, he should leave. Now he's got, I know him and Jamar Chase are tight. Him and T Higgins are tight. Um, But yes, you can. There are other guys that you can. There are other players you can get to come with you, even if it's not those guys.
There's also other players that you've played with before in college that are on other teams that you've got
Oh, that's
experience
where
with.
you're going. That's where you're going.
That's
Minnesota,
exactly where I'm
really?
going. Yes. I
Okay.
mean, they got McCarthy out there throwing ducks and not giving the ball to their star receiver whenever he's actually well enough to go out on the field. Um, and I don't think they've got that much money invested in him. Yeah,
No,
they
rookie
gambled and got
contract.
burned this season. Yeah, they gambled and got burned this season. Why not roll the dice on Joey B?
I think that's a win-win. See, I said they should go get Aaron Rodgers in the offseason.
Yep,
I mean, you see
that
what
would
they're
have been
doing.
awesome. Yeah,
I mean, you Rodgers is still Aaron Rodgers. I mean, they're figuring it out in Pittsburgh now. Their schedule's been kind of favorable, but I mean,
good.
they're 8-6 and they're leading the division pretty comfortably. They just got to win one more game of these next three, and they're in the playoffs. And then
Yep.
anything can happen. He's still Aaron freaking Rodgers, a Hall of Famer. I said, even if you get him for a year, just let McCarthy sit behind him for a year or two, whatever it is. Uh, yeah, Joey B is an obvious upgrade. Even though I'm mad at him right now, it's still my fault for playing him over Goff. But
If he goes to the Vikings, you gonna sign up for him next year?
no, I can't do it, man. Well, shit.
Just no. Just no is the right answer.
If God, if he goes to the Vikings playing indoors,
Yeah,
Justin Jefferson, yeah, that would
yeah.
be tough for me to say. I might just completely rescind everything I said if that were the case. But right, it's too early, too soon, as they say, too soon. Um, yeah, just too soon. I don't know, but if you're Minnesota, yeah, you should absolutely make that move. I don't think McCarthy can play. Maybe he can, not at this level. Maybe he can figure it out. But if you have a chance to go get Joe Burrow, make the move. It doesn't matter if he can play. You're built to win now. Go
Yeah.
get a guy that can put you over the top. Like with the Rams and Goff. Goff has shown he's figured it out and he can play. But Matt Stafford was ready to win now on a team that
Now,
was ready to win now. And by now, I mean 2021 or whatever it was, 22. But yeah, that was the right move. Go get Matt Stafford and make yourself an immediate contender. Or, well, and they've remained that. I think they're as good as any team in the league right now. Yeah, if you can go get Joe Burrow, absolutely make that move. Doesn't matter how McCarthy feels about it or what have you. Yeah, go make that move. Of course, that's not that's not a decision factor unless you're the Chicago Bears and the GM saying we're going to do what's right for Justin being Justin Fields. Which as when he said that when they whatever they did drafted Caleb Williams and then traded away Justin Fields, they said we're going to do what's in the best interest of Justin. You should do what's in the best interest. Wow, words are hard. Interest of your organization, the Bears.
yes.
Doesn't matter what Justin Fields wants.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. They didn't do what was in his best interest. They traded him to the Jets. Although I don't think he's a starting quarterback in the NFL anyway. But yeah, you're not doing any favors being sent to the Jets. So
So just seeing another high profile potential landing spot if Joe Burrow wants to leave Cincinnati. And this one makes a whole lot of sense if one domino falls beforehand. The LA Rams.
what?
If Stafford retires after this season,
Why would he? If he wins another
I don't know.
championship?
I don't know. I don't see that one happening. I could see that being a good fit if Stafford's not there. And the interwebs are saying the Jets, of course, and the Falcons. They seem to be like the two most common teams that are needing quarterbacks nowadays. Um, But yeah, that's probably Jets and Falcons looking for a quarterback every other year on average. So,
Do
but
not go
yeah.
to the Jets. You're gonna. I would
Oh
stay in
no,
Cincinnati before
he's
going to the Jets.
yeah, he's definitely not gonna go to the Jets. Falcons, I don't know. It depends on the money. I don't think he can. I don't think there's just a plethora of talent there where he could go win now.
Not.
Um,
I mean,
Rams and Vikings, Vikings for sure.
I think Vikings is the best option for a quarterback in the league right now. For a team that needs a quarterback, that's the best option. There's not a better one, right?
You
And
know,
not for a team that needs a quarterback.
as long as he gets out of his depression mode, yeah, should be good to go.
Well, he stays hurt. They're losing. It's essentially a wasted season because they're not going to be in the playoffs. It's cold and gloomy in Cincinnati. I get it. You lost me a spot in the fantasy football championship. I totally get why you'd be depressed. Should
It's
be,
weighing heavily on his
yeah,
consciousness.
as it should, might add. But yeah, it's I get the frustration. Believe me, I do. But it's yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, don't go to the Jets though. Either way, that's a downgrade from your current situation. Minnesota, I think it's Minnesota or bust. If you are going to make a move, it needs to be the right situation. Minnesota would be that situation.
Yes, it would.
Uh, However, they need to work that out. I don't know the contract details if he's going to be a free agent soon or if trades need to happen.
I think trades needs to happen with Chase and Higgins and everybody coming up on contract renewals. They're going to have to make some moves. So I don't think they can keep the core together what they have now. So somebody's going to have to be dealt away.
They
Why not
shouldn't have to
Joe?
begin. They shouldn't have to begin with. I would have said let Higgins go, let Higgins walk, and then
Oh
beef
yeah,
up your offensive line.
yeah.
Um, yeah. Anyway, all right. Before we get out of here, we need to show some love to our Arkansas Razorbacks who play tonight at 8 o'clock on the SEC Network. Uh, who they play? Queens. Did I say that
Queens.
right? Queens.
You seen it right, Queens.
Yeah. Which
So
they deserve a layup type of game after the schedule they've had. They've played all Elite Eight teams from a season ago, and the Hogs are 8-2 right now. Of course, the big one, they got a revenge win against Texas Tech, who ousted them last year in the Sweet 16.
yep.
Hogs, who were down six at the half, took over in the second half took over down the stretch in what was a very competitive game. Hogs got the win. Trevin Brazil had the game of his life. Just looked like an all-world player out there. Did everything. Did every Trevin Brazil has become everything I thought he could be under Coach Cal.
Yeah. It's all those flashes of greatness that we got to see him play at Missouri. And
And
then
for
once
the
he got over here and got
first
in, yeah. Once he got
few
over here and
games
got
before he
injured,
got
it just
hurt.
wasn't the same. Yeah.
No. But Muss had no idea what to do. Eric Musselman had no clue
And,
what to do with Trevin
but
Brazil.
yeah, but it also didn't help that you could tell that Brazil was a little hesitant. He didn't look comfortable out there after his injury. So, which was no excuse for the second season following
That's
that
still
injury. So,
that's still largely on the coach. Coach
yeah.
needs to figure out a way to get him comfortable. That's what you get paid the big bucks for. Cal has figured out, and in Muss's last year, Trevin Brazil, all he did was sit out on the wing and shoot threes. And he's not a good 3 point shooter, although he looked like one Saturday. He's not a 3 point shooter, although it looks like he has developed a game there, at least from what we saw Saturday, 4 or 5 from 3 point range. Um, but he wasn't then. He's a slasher type of player, a guy that can do everything, make athletic plays inside and out on both sides of the or both ends of the court, offensively and defensively. He has done that under Coach Cal. And again, that's the difference between a good coach and a Hall of Fame coach in John Calipari. Cal has brought out the absolute best in Trevor Brazil and the rest of that group that they have right now. This is a fun team to watch. It's going to be yeah. And you knew last year, you're like, this is going to be Cal's worst team at Arkansas, and they're in the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
Like that's exciting, and that's why you get paid $8 million a year. It's because you can put together performances like that. Yeah, when you're a legend Hall of Fame coach, that's what you get. That's the result. So I am going to make it a point to watch the game tonight. The big one is Saturday, though. The next big one, Arkansas and Houston. I don't know where they play. Is it at Houston?
Probably at Houston. I feel like we've been getting a lot of big games at home. So I would guess that it's got to be at Houston.
Well, the Texas Tech game Saturday was a neutral site, and it was in Dallas, and it is a neutral site there. But it looked that crowd was very pro Arkansas. Hog fans traveled well for that one, but you probably have a lot of Hog fans just living in Dallas too.
Yeah, a lot of Hog fans in Texas itself. So
Yeah, so it, yeah, 4:30 is tip off Saturday. I'm gonna I think I'll be watching it at my grandma's house because it's, or maybe we'll walk over to my uncle's for that one. We're doing like a early Christmas
family
on that
Christmas.
side of the family. I'm not going to be able to come to Northwest Arkansas for Christmas up there, which is where they're having it this year. So mom's coming down this weekend for Christmas with her mom, my grandma, and we're just doing our own little thing Saturday. But I'm sure we're going to watch that. Of course, we're going to watch that game. Uh, Prediction for that one, outcome. Who you got, Arkansas or Houston?
Man, I don't know. Houston hardly ever loses a game in the regular season, right? They wait until the tournament to lose.
That's true,
So
but look at their conference. I mean, it's not.
I
It's
mean,
what the Big 12.
I'll do the homer pick, of course. I mean,
Same.
yeah,
Yeah. I've got Arkansas in that one. I think it's probably a pick 'em. I do like how Pizza Hut tweeted out when they put out the top 25. Why isn't Arkansas higher than this? Something along those lines. I thought, okay, Pizza Hut gets it. Shout out to them. Saw that on social media anyway. Yeah, so we both got the Hogs in that. I'd say wishful thinking, but I don't know that it is. I think this team can beat Houston. Whether or not they will, we'll find out.
ranked number 14 and Houston's number 8. So
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. Um, yeah, so we got the Hogs in there. Anything we missed out on before we get out of here, real quick? Rapid fire.
You got your Christmas shopping done?
Most of it. For
Same.
the family, I've got that part done. There are a few other things I need to get here and there, but that can be done before Christmas in 9 days. Wow, it's coming fast. But pause. But all right, well we're pretty much out of time on that one, but we'll be back next week with who knows what. We don't have to talk about my fantasy football depression next week.
We
That
got
I know.
first round of college football playoffs this weekend, son. We got plenty to talk about next week.
Oh, there you go. All right. Well, till then, see y'all next time. I'm Graham Powell.
Brother Brown.
Deuces, y'all.
Peace.